Hey y'all,
Hi.
welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. You'll notice we are distant as far as we can feasibly in this room
Yes.
because I have gone back to work. I'm not back full-time on site anymore, probably for another month or so, but we are not taking any chances, so
No.
for the next little while, we will be like this, just so that you all, you know, if you notice, just to let you know, it's because I am now interacting with coworkers again.
So, and even this afternoon when we were on
With Indie Untangled.
Indie Untangled, we held this downstairs even further apart, but Rich is home and he can't help but join in. So we do better when we're up here with the door shut.
Yes.
Otherwise, he has pithy little comments that he feels compelled to share. Anyway, who are you?
I'm Liz, and on Instagram and Ravelry, you can find me as Toolizzforyou, Toolizzforyou.
And I'm Carolyn, and on Ravelry, I'm cpredmor. And I'm posting as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. And some of you may have seen the 4-week picture of the lettuce and tomatoes. You didn't see much of the lettuce because we've been harvesting the lettuce. And I keep threatening to get another installation for the hydroponic garden, and I haven't heard any
Complaints
about that.
No.
So I think I want to wait till some of the tomatoes come in.
Yeah.
Because then we can say it's been an incredible success.
Yes.
So I think that may be only 2 more weeks because we have buds on the tomatoes.
They're quite tall, too.
Yes. Well, they say to cut them back. So you keep, now it becomes like bonsai. That you keep trimming them back so they don't get too tall. Okay. And excuse me, not too wide either. And I'll have to check the water every day because I added some water on Friday and I didn't add any water yesterday or earlier today, and it was dry. Not dry.
I was gonna say it only took about 400 milligrams.
But
milliliters.
It's enough for the lettuce to go a little wilty. So I will be working on, 2 weeks ago when we fed them, I couldn't fit hardly 100 milliliters in. So I had tried to space out the watering so that there would be space for the food when it went in today. And apparently they're soaking up water like crazy. So there's a little bit more of the food to go in tomorrow, if it'll fit, or Tuesday, and then I will keep up with the watering a little bit more. So
what have you finished? What have you worked on?
Look,
Olivia has an arm!
So she can wave. Wait, there's the front of Olivia. I was looking at Olivia. So there's one arm.
Good.
And yes, notice that her hand is coming out from the sleeve. Her hand is not sticking out like this because they tell you don't stuff the arm very full because that will allow the arm to hang down by the side, and then by the time you get to the hand or the paw, at that point you can stuff it fully. So, and plus, let's face it, any kid is going to be chewing on the hand rather than up here at the arm.
Yeah.
I can tell you that it is very tight. I think we've talked about this all along. And that's the reason why you're going to see one appendage appear each week. So after we finish this, I will probably go down and either work on the arm, or I certainly will work on the arm tomorrow. But Olivia is doing well. She's coming along.
She is.
And she'll be done well before Christmas, so that's good.
That is.
And maybe before surgery.
Maybe.
Well, if not, then maybe the face will be left or something, because I've got this week for the arm.
But I mean, it's also not like you're getting surgery on your arms or your wrists or something.
No, but
so
I
you can
figure
do
it will be painful for a little while.
A little while.
I may not want to have pain in my hands.
No, but it's not like you won't be able to work on it for 8 weeks, though.
That's true.
That's all I was.
What would you like to show off?
So I finished something. I finished my Barndom Shawl.
Ooh.
You would take one edge. So this is a whip from, I believe, 2014, maybe 2016.
Oh, yes.
And so I actually did a stretchy bind off just so that, because I've had shawls, specifically Stephen West. Oh, well, so let's back up for a second. So I was supposed to do 2 rows of the darker color in between before the bind off, and I finished the 1 garter row, and I had like maybe, I think I figured out I had 9 yards left. That wasn't going to cut it for 2 rows and for 1 garter like ridge, so 2 rows and a bind off. So I decided just to do a bind off in the original, the lighter color, because it's not an I-cord bind off. So I ended up doing I knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, around the edge, because I found with his shawls, they'll grow when I block it. A lot. And I don't want, and I've had it where the bind off edge is then, it's too tight.
Compressed.
And it really pulls at everything else. And I didn't want that to happen with this shawl. And I think it looks really nice, and actually holding it out like this, it looks amazing.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I did make a boo-boo, and there is supposed to be another, like, cross brace coming here and over there. But I missed it, so oh well. But it's done.
It's lovely.
So another long-term whip done.
Excellent.
Which is, a goal for the year.
Yes.
Yeah, so what else have you been working on, since we seem to be doing the trading off thing recently?
Well, a major accomplishment.
Yes.
Is I had finished the circular part.
Yes.
Of my traveling sweater.
Yes.
And you all may wonder why it's not a circle at the moment. And there's 2 reasons for that. Reason number 1 is I haven't blocked it. I was going to try to finish it last night, but it got late and I got tired, and that's when I usually make mistakes.
Yeah.
So let's show you this in all its wonderment. And so there's a provisional cast on at your edge, and then I've got live stitches over here. And this seam is actually the last seam to be done rather than the first seam. I thought it was the first seam. I was all set to knit 3.
Yeah. Knit 2 together.
Yes. And 3 needle bind off.
There we go.
And no. They want you to do the sleeves.
I kind of
and
love
the yoke.
The pooling in it, though.
Oh, I love pooling.
I love the way it pooled on this. It looks really cool.
Pooling never bothers me.
I know.
It never bothers me at all. So I really do like this. Now, I can tell you that this will be stretched to 16.5 inches all the way around. In between these are about the right size, because this is supposed to be like 6.5 inches.
Okay.
But
between
up here, it's again 16.5 inches up here. So I will follow, and I will put markers, my little coilless pins, and make sure that we've got that right. But it's mostly because it is a rib, and a sideways rib, that
it'll grow.
It will grow this way.
Yeah.
So I probably won't wash it tonight, because I'd like to space it out in the sunlight, in the daylight. So that will be tomorrow. But I just finished that this morning. And I have all 8 sections done.
Ew,
so
it looks good.
I did not cut the thread. I'm waiting to see how much I have left, if I need it. If I need this ball for the sleeves. So I started a whole new skein for the sleeves and the yoke. I think I may need it, but I thought, well, I'll just leave it attached in case I don't. So it's
I was gonna say
the 3 needle bind.
But if you're gonna throw it in the wash, you have to take it. You have to cut the ball anyways.
No, I wasn't gonna throw it in the machine.
Oh,
I was just gonna soak it. Fancy. So yeah, I was just gonna soak it and pat it out. This is not.
Oh, and you'll. Yeah, I thought it was
superwash. It doesn't say it. It's 100% merino.
Oh, it's like my
Yes.
Like my lace.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So no, I look. Each skein was balled up as I came to it. So I still had the tags on it. I had the, around the skein.
The skein tags, yeah.
The skein tag. Well, it's not really a tag. It's a wrapper. I had the wrapper. And I looked at it, and it's 100% merino, and it doesn't say superwash.
Then, yeah.
Now, it might be on, now, the name of this is Flannel Pajama, and it's stuck on. You know, maybe underneath it says superwash, but I checked the tag. So unless you find that Flannel Pajamas is superwash.
Well, that's the colorway. That's not the yarn type. The yarn type is one of their sock bases.
I know. But you can look it up and see if I want to say anything about it. So at the moment, I don't plan to put it through the washer. If we find out it's superwash, then it will go through the washer and then go on a excessive spin to get a lot of the water out, and then I will block it out. But I'm very happy about that.
I just can't remember what the base is.
Well, it's downstairs. Dijin?
Is it Dinjin?
I think
Or
so.
Genie? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do. Genie sock. Let's just look at any of them.
Doing extra research here.
No, Genie's an MCN. Genie's an MCN, so it might be
So
Dragon.
We'll look it up downstairs.
Yeah. Dragon. Dragon's 100% superwash.
Okay, well, I looked on the
Alright, yeah.
thing I had, so we'll
Not a
check.
huge deal. Yep.
Go ahead. What do you have?
So, I have been working on my... Oh, God, and stitches pull it out. Lovely.
Pull it out? Yes,
Yeah.
they pull it out a lot.
Pull it out.
So while she's working on that, I'll tell you what I did this week. We have a baptism next Monday, which I'm not going to because as I came down to it, my knee hurts worse. They've had me doing an extra exercise at physical therapy that has gotten right to the left knee, and it makes it very difficult to move around. I'm not doing that again. I did give it the college try. I did it 2 days, and was cursing the physical therapist all weekend. Anyway, and at this point, I mean, surgery is a must, and I don't want to do anything to delay it, so not going. But I bought a present for my grandniece, and it was a God Loves You book with her name. Well, her mother's maiden name, note, maiden name, was Predmor, like our names. Only the baby's name is not that. It has a different last name.
Yes,
she does.
She has her
own last name.
The family's last name.
It didn't go through my head. So I have a book going to my grandniece, C. Predmor. And I didn't have to put a last name.
No.
I thought that would be special.
Yep.
So
she gets it today, and she hands it to me and goes, "Isn't this so cute?"
It is a cute book.
It's really cute. No, it's really cute, and Mom did reorder it without a last name.
Yes.
But I turned to essentially the title page, and I was like, "Well, that's not her name."
And I went, "What?"
And Mom was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like,
I was sure I had misspelled her first name. I thought I had said Cleo.
No.
Which is not her name.
I mean, we've told you her name before. It's Chloe. But, like, yeah, it was very funny. We were like, I was like, yeah, no, that's not her name, Ma. And she was like, so then...
And I've done this type of thing before. I had been married, I don't know, a year, 2 years, something like that, and I had changed my name to Predmor from Schoen. And we were down at my parents' house down at the beach, and I was writing up a resume. I can't remember for why, but I was applying for another job or something. Or I was putting in my application for graduate school. There was some reason I was doing this. And it was when you still had to type everything on a non-memory typewriter. And there it is on the first page. Carolyn Schoen. Only that's not my name anymore. So Mom and I read it. We don't see it. We meant to put it through. It was perfect. And we showed it to Rich. He goes, "That's great, but that's not your name." I went, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You're not Carolyn Schoen anymore. You're Carolyn Predmor." I went, "Oh, no."
So Dad comes home. We show him the book. He starts flipping through, and he also did not catch it immediately. And so he's about to flip the page, and I was like, Dad, and he's like, "What?" I go, "Read the name again," and he goes, "Ah!" And then he goes, "Oh, well, it's not the first time this family's done something like that."
We have a history of doing that. Yeah, we do. So anyway, I've reordered the book.
And aired her shame to my cousin.
Oh, yes. So my niece knows what I've done.
So now Nieceling will have a book to read at Aunt Carolyn Home Witches.
That's right. Or to chew on. You know?
It'll be great. But just absolutely hilarious.
Obviously, I'm very big on chewing things because this one loved Goodnight Moon. And you could tell because she got it at the book one day and has... The corner was like this, and now it
has teeth.
Like this.
It has a nice little baby Elizabeth mouth.
Disappeared.
Yeah. Yep.
So I have full expectations. If she likes this book, it could be chewed. So anyway, we have a book here. It feels so silly. But anyway,
I thought it was great because I got here and Mom told me that that's what she had gotten her for about. Whereas I have 2 books already that I got from the comic book shop for her, as well as I've ordered 2 more books for her. Because of course, books are the appropriate gift for this, for right now. And it's funny because I have no doubt my cousin was expecting hand knits again.
Well, no, not for a confirmation, a baptism.
No.
I mean, at my baptism, one part of the family gave me a Bible, and the other part of the family gave me a prayer book. And I just can't get out to a religious store. I'm sure the Lutherans have a Lutheran bookstore, and I'd like to go and look at them. I mean, my own prayer book, which is around this room someplace, has onion skin paper.
I think.
Oh, I know. My grandmother gave it to me. So, I also didn't want to overstep the grandmother. So no, we didn't do hand knits for the baptism.
No.
Certainly, obviously, hand knits for Christmas and stuff like that. And
birthday, we have to figure out.
Birthday, I think socks.
Oh yes, you can go ham on
a dress.
Socks. Yes,
socks and a dress that match. Only we don't know the size of her feet, but we can just figure it out.
Or you can make her tube socks.
I could make tube socks. Those are great for
that's
a
what
kid.
That's what the Knitmores really strongly believe in because you can
think
grow into them.
Knitting Expat
I think Knitting Expat might have one as well as Jasmine Knitmore. I think has hers too.
We have socks and a dress. I think
that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea, and I will look that up. But I want to. Well, we have the next thing.
So what I was just fixing is my Engle, which I have about 5 inches of the body done. I have another 5 inches to go. It's gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a peach camisole tank top, and I think wearing that under this will be really nice. I also have a blue one. I have a few. I have a lot, actually. Let's be honest. But I think it'll be really great when we start transitioning, to true fall and then into winter. Because I haven't assessed our temperature control at the new office yet. Because I haven't been there enough. And also because we'll be moving.
Well, you've been one day.
I've been one day, but we were in the office, in the site. We're going to be moving, not the main office. We'll be moving site offices from an external into the building.
I'm thinking with the My Boy Lollipop.
That's your art yarn. Oh, it's very pretty.
So I was thinking to have color work, go down about an inch with this and this.
Just stripes or
held
a little
together.
Oh.
Maybe. Because this is
just to give it a little shine?
I think so, yeah.
Or do look up a little Peary or something, little 4-row little color work.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like that.
A two color subtle little maybe little 6 or 8 stitch flower.
Some of my minis, which are
over there.
Over there, some are over there, and maybe finding a dark with a light, and maybe doing a stripe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Navy blue, navy blue or dark gray, and that down for about an inch, inch and a half, and then doing the rest in that inspiration. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so I have I have 2 rows done on the My Boy Lollipop. They're going to be ripped out, and we're going to go with this new idea. Anyway, a friend of ours had called, and I think you know that we talked about this on Monday, had called and said she was having problems with socks. I'm back here. I'm obviously having problems with socks, too. And we talked about socks and how you get rid of the hole when you come back and join in the heels. So Elizabeth had come up with a suggestion for another.
You do an afterthought heel, and our friend didn't want to do that at the time,
right?
So
then you suggested this one.
Well,
which
we
is
looked
from
up
Judy.
up a free toe up, not afterthought heel.
Right. And this is from Judy, who I think did also the magic.
I don't know.
We don't know. It's a Judy.
That's inconclusive.
This is a Judy. So I have gotten to the heel.
Yes.
I have figured out that the place I normally knit to for my toe-up sock is right to the front of the ankle bone. And the way Judy's pattern talks about it is where your ankle meets your foot. And I looked and went, darn, that's exactly where that is. So I can use the front of my ankle bone as the place. That is the place to start your heel. So I have done the increases. And now what I've done is you end up, I would have to say I wasn't thrilled with the directions. I thought they were a little difficult. You do a decrease, and it needs to be a center decrease centered down the back of the sock. And they've already identified what is the back of the sock, so that you're doing increases on only 2 of the 4 needles. Now, I did this on circular needles, so I nominated one needle as needles 1 and 2, and another needle 3 and 4. So I have 2 circular needles here, so that I can keep needles 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 separate. So I did the decreases where you go from, 20 stitches down to 6, something like that. And then you knit down one side of that decrease, and now I'm ready to turn and purl across and down the other side. And then I start picking up 1 stitch. I believe I would want to do it on the knit side. So I would purl down here, turn it, and then pick up on this end, and then pick up the stitch on this end as I knit across, purl back across, and come back. That's my plan. However, our friend isn't ready to have that discussion. So I really don't want to go further than this if she gets to this point
and gets stuck.
Because I'd like to be able to show her. Because I can also
we can set up the
phone holder, and I could be showing her this pretty close up in the phone camera so that she could see what I did. So I have a pair of socks. What I may do is I may actually start the second sock. I may finish the sock.
We need to reach out to Big Apple Knitters Guild.
I've already done that.
Okay, and we're still on for teaching?
Not on the 3rd.
Okay, because I just was like, wait, that's 2 weeks after your surgery.
Right. I wrote to her, and I said, that's 2 weeks after my now surgery for my knee, and I think that's going to be too soon. I think I'm going to find it difficult to be sitting down and teaching knitting for 6 hours with
so we've rescheduled.
So she's put us later in the schedule. I don't know when.
Okay.
She's going
sorry for that interruption there. I just realized that we were talking October for that, and I was like, hold up, you're still gonna be in the first few weeks of recovery there.
Right. So this is the front of the sock. This is 30 stitches. Obviously, this is going to have a lot more. So this is the decrease side. So it would be, if I can make this work, it will be a second choice for a toe-up sock heel. So maybe I'll finish this and I'll start the other one.
And then you can start the second one,
Yeah. I may take pictures at this point.
Well, and also
take pictures at this point.
Take pictures, but also because once you get through it, then if
I can talk about the experience.
Stuck, if she gets stuck,
so
you can
I have done this
a little better.
Pretty much since Sunday.
Yep.
Yes. So
But you're very fast on socks.
I am. I can just, since they're knitted in the round, I basically did a plain vanilla sock. I did the Judy's Magic cast on for toe-up socks. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do a cast on. I find that to be the most reinforced toe. And that's why
I find either that or I find the Turkish to be pretty, but the Turkish is a little, that looks like it has either bamboo or silk in it, that yarn. So I might not do it with a bamboo or silk because it's slippery. I find the cast on slippery, so adding slippery Turkish yarn to that cast on.
Because the Turkish is just wrapping it in a figure 8 around your needles. This is just a little bit more stable in that you're crisscrossing your yarns to get them on. And I like that. Not that I've ever taken a toe out. I generally take out the bottom of my heels because I wear my socks and slippers. So I have that. What else do I have in here?
I don't know, but I'm
My Boy Lollipop. I have that. No, I think that's
I was going to say, for the My Boy Lollipop, thinking about it while you've been talking, I would still do the 4-row seed stitch and then do your color work. Because the seed stitch gives it some stability at that edge, and then it's like a ribbing, but it gives a little more. So I don't know if I would take it out.
And do the crimping, or the whatever it is. And then go into that. All right.
Yeah. Or you could do it.
I've got a dark color over there. So I'll look at that.
I have been doing more on my Vivien.
Yes, you have been.
I have tried it on like 3 times in the last 36 hours.
Yes. And
less, 24.
Because the first time it wasn't a good look.
No. So, this pattern, from what I can tell, is made for more busty women than I am. Because
a bustier woman.
A bustier woman than I am. Because the distance from your collarbone to the apex of your bust seems to be longer than what mine is, and what this is intended to be. So I had picked to do the second depth of the, I think it's frisky cheeky breezy, and I had decided to do cheeky. But I had done that, and I had made these side, and that really does these like strap cutouts. And I had done that, and they were 3.5 inches long, and it would have meant that my collar would have had to be right up under my chin in order for everything to lay correctly.
Wasn't a good look for her.
No. So we actually, I took out about 16 rows. So now we have, that is gorgeous. So now these straps are about 1 3/4 inches deep. These peekaboos on the sides, which is the breezy option, which is fine. But I have tried it on, and this is the depth I like. I'm really glad. Actually, at the original depth, I had just enough yarn to then do the attach the neckline and do that in the contrast color, which is what I'm doing anyways. Because as you can see, I finished the contrast color as the back bind off. I really like this top. It's really beautiful.
It's really good looking. It looks good on you.
Yeah, and it's really beautifully written as well, the pattern. But I would suggest being more very cognizant of your personal
bust depth.
Yeah, bust depth. But also being okay with having to rip it out and either lengthen or shorten that the straps. Because
obviously straps are crucial.
Well, and you might not know until you've done it. Until it's,
Absolutely.
Because you can't really try it on until you get all of your straps connected up at the top again, because that will hit you, essentially at the base of your neck. And so that's, where you work
That's the
from.
measuring point.
So I found that really interesting. This top has had a lot of learning curves to it, but as you can see, I now have 4 little, bobbins kind of yarn. So I'm not using up the entire skein like I was the first time, when I had it almost done last night. But I think it'll work out really well, and I'm glad I did the contrast hem, collar, and back band, because I would not have had enough. Lovely. And I think it'll look lovely. I think it's extremely wearable. But yeah, I wanted, I just, and so we'll see.
You could wear it over a long sleeve top.
Mm-hmm. You could.
In the winter.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
So I'm also we'll see about the neckband. The neckband might have to be extended again. I might have to rip it out and extend it again. But a lot of these are dimensions you don't usually think about.
Right.
When you're knitting sweaters. So I think it's a lot of, figuring out what your personal comfort is. Mm-hmm. Especially because I won't know about the neckband until I have it finished and I put the whole thing on. Right. And if it's too tight, then yes, I'll have to rip it out and I'll redo the neckband, which is fine. I can knit. I can do that.
Right. Because what we're making is customized clothing.
Yeah. So that was just my PSA for the day of, if you don't like it, rip it out. But, but also, if you do like it, you can also make it, work for what you want.
Right.
Which is exactly what, most of us get into knitting to do.
That's right. So I have found 2 minis. One is Rabbit Hole by Asylum Fiber, and I like it a lot.
It's sparkly.
It's sparkly. So I'm thinking that with this, because they're both sparkly, because of the silk in the art yarn. So I think that kind of striped in the top of a My Boy Lollipop, I think would be really fun. And then I can go into the rest of the yarn that I have, which I think Emily's yarn or something like that. So, great. So, things to do with your minis. The other one I had was from a Forbidden Fiber Company called Beautiful Noise. And if I hadn't found this from Asylum Fiber, I would have gone with this. So this is going back in the mini pile, which I left conveniently right here. And this is what's going in the My Boy Lollipop. So
also, if you're looking for things to do with your minis, I think Norichan knits. She is doing a scrap along right now. Let me look it up. Yeah, Norichan knits. Noriko is doing a scrap along. So yeah, you can always check out. I think that it's going on through the end of October, so you have time if you want to, get in on the scrap along KAL. I'm trying to figure out where it's being held. I bet we can, I can look more into that, and I'll post something below. Oh, here, she has a link list.
I will say that Instagram, when you log on or get into Instagram, at least I found today, is they're asking if you are registered to vote. Please, everybody register to vote in the proper time span, and then make a plan for how you're going to vote.
Yes.
I've already made the plan of planning to vote early. I've checked with New York State. The New York State early voting starts on October 23rd, and that is my plan. I can also request an absentee ballot.
Yes.
Because I will have had knee surgery.
Well, and in New York now you can request an absentee due to COVID.
COVID, but I also will have had surgery. Yes. And I could, if I wanted to, fill out the absentee ballot and then bring that in to the early voting location so they could have it then, and I wouldn't have to be mailing it. So there's a couple, or you could mail it. There's a number of different ways.
Check
check your state.
Check your state. Check your county. I know in New York there are...
New York City.
In New York, in
State.
general, there are polling place boxes for receptacles for the absentee ballots, so you don't have to mail them.
I haven't heard a great deal of detail about that.
But you can hand them into the elections office.
Yes, and where I voted last year, I think it was the town hall. So, and everybody was there. That was so funny because I think there were 12 people working for the town and me.
Oh.
So there was more than enough people who could have taken an absentee ballot at that time. I have to say, though, I like voting early. One, because it's incredibly easy. I'm voting. Last time I voted on an iPad that was theirs. I didn't bring it with me. I voted on an iPad, and it was incredibly simple. There was no pens, papers, and all this other kind of
there
stuff.
was still paper. It was still paper.
No, I had an electronic ballot, as far as I can remember. I was quite taken with this. So if you're uncertain about mail-away ballots because of timing and all this other kind of stuff, check out and see if you can do early voting. Or vote on Election Day.
Or if you can register for an absentee ballot now and you are confident in being able to, send that in early as well, or dropping it off at your local polling place.
New York State has 4 different ways of requesting. You can call, you can fax a request, you can write for it, and soon
register
they will have,
online.
So you can register online, but soon they will have a place open for you to request an absentee ballot online. It was not opened up as of this morning.
Oh, because that's how I did it for my primary ballot.
I understand, but they have to get it set up
because they hadn't had it set up for the okay.
Right. So I checked this morning, and it still said it should be coming soon. Like a movie.
But yes, keep that in mind. Also, on that note, both Nerdbird Makery, whose vote shirt I have, and I showed you all either last week or the week before, they are doing a reprinting, as well as Karita from Neighborhood Fiber Co. has a design as well that's also a tote bag. I'll link those below. Definitely check them out. And I just looked up the Norichan, Noriko's Scrap Along is being hosted on her Patreon. I did not take the time to check if you have to be a Patreon in order to participate. I don't believe, in order to participate on Instagram, I don't think so. But in order to be eligible for prizes, you might be. But she also is a phenomenal designer in her own right, so I don't, look at her tiers. If you can support, definitely support, because I think she's got some very interesting
designs. People are on limited budgets.
No,
By
exactly.
the way,
that's why I'm saying.
Lion Brand Yarns has been running sales like crazy this past month. So you might want, if you're looking for more yarn, because you've got a head full of projects, unlike some people I know, I'm talking about me, you can go to Lion Brand's website, and they have had sales on a number of their different kinds of yarns, so you might want to check them out.
But yeah, so Neighborhood, I believe both Nerdbird and Neighborhood are donating portions of the proceeds of those shirts to different organizations. I don't know them off the top of my head. But
It'd
yeah.
be cool to find my 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and make that up too.
I know you have it here because I used some of it.
It would be over in Fingering.
Yeah. I mean,
we'll just have to take them out.
I'm pretty sure once I go over and look at it, I can probably pull it out. It's one of my favorite colors. That's this purple. This purple in my Engle is one of my skeins of 1600. Which was dyed for Michelle Obama. Or in...
but 1600 is the address of the White House.
Yes.
And I think it'd be very patriotic to wear something called 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Yes.
So,
Did you talk about in the Untangled?
I did not.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before you go to that?
Should we... do we have any other mail? Should we talk about mail?
So we talked about the book. I thought my Pom Pom magazine was
looks amazing. This
it should be coming soon.
This issue is also guest edited by Ocean Rose, who did that really
multiple sizes.
She's very into multiple sizes, but she's a natural dyer from London, and she guest edited one of the
very
other ones.
Size model person.
Yes, but also she is she's just lovely. I met her at Rhinebeck last year, and I have some of her yarn, and I've used, I'm using some of it in a few different things. But she guest edited, and just what I'm seeing is phenomenal coming out of on Instagram and things. Are you looking for it now?
But this is Molly Girl.
In the middle of our broadcast? Okay.
I wanted to show them, but I don't see it.
So, hopefully that will come soon. But I know I mentioned last week that I bought some fabric.
Yes, she did.
So it arrived. This is a wool, kind of a tweed.
Of course, I could always do Molly Girl.
You could. It's like a wool tweed.
And what are we doing with this?
This is going to be a cape. Probably a double-sided cape once I figure out.
It's perfect for a cape.
I know. So I bought 5 yards of it. I only need like 2 or 2.5. But as my mother always taught me, if it's on sale, you buy a bunch.
Yes, because it won't be there when you go back. And since you got it from Fab Scrap, it's definitely not going to be there when you go back.
Right. Well, and again, speaking of Fab Scrap, which we've spoken about before, this is fabric that would have gone to a landfill if it had not been donated to Fab Scrap by, the different designers and different fashion houses or fabric houses in New York City. And they sell it, at a discount. And also, they have limited yardage some of the time, most of the time. But it also keeps this fabric out of the landfill.
Right.
And
you get to wear it.
And exactly.
Like win-win.
And this is a maroon with sparkles wool tweed. I'm so excited. So I did get more than I need, but I also,
that would be a fabulous Sherlock Holmes cape.
So Sherlock Holmes doesn't have it. He has an Ulster coat, which has the cape, built into the coat.
I know.
It's a full, trench coat with
Wouldn't that be great?
It would be, but that is not what that fabric is for. It is for a 1910s cape and maybe something else.
All right.
Probably something else. Maybe a skirt.
Oh, a skirt.
A skirt. That could be some fabulous.
I was thinking pants, but...
yeah, they'd have to be lined because it's a bit scratchy with the...
Well, yeah. You could have a skirt, you could have a pair of pants,
I could have
and
a whole bunch of things. Well, I don't know if I could get all 3. Because pants...
It's pretty wide.
I know, but still, pants for me, I have lots of leg.
That's true.
So, I need... To make leggings, I need 1 yard of that. I need at least a yard of very stretchy fabric.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
that's what happened. And then, yes, Indie Untangled.
Did you have any other mail?
No, I think that was it this week.
I'm waiting for my mail to come.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on the yarn for my Aunt Fred.
Yes.
It is lost in the Postal Service maelstrom. We're still hoping and praying it will show up one day, miraculously.
That's so frustrating.
The seller the woman I bought it from has noted it to the post office, but has not received any further response besides an automated email. It's very upsetting.
These things happen. Years ago, I had supposedly won that knitting bag from the woman in South Africa. And I never got it. She sent it twice, and it was returned to her twice. And I just said, enjoy it. Don't try anymore. Yeah. That's ridiculous. It happens.
It does.
It does happen.
It does. But what did you want to say about Indie Untangled?
Well, Indie Untangled Everywhere is a chance for everybody to get involved with Indie Untangled because you get to see, for $5, I think you get to see everything, right?
Well, yes. And then the additional fees are, there are additional fees
bingo.
For bingo.
Bingo night is what, $10?
Is $10.
Right. So bingo with Katrina.
Which is going to be phenomenal.
I think it'll be amazing. Find your favorite beverage and sit down and play bingo. Yes, that's on the Friday night?
That is on the Friday night, right. So I will have to, I have to time it out right that I pack up beforehand and I come on out here right after work so that I can help you.
Then we have the bags.
Yes, the bags.
And you have bags with goodies in them, freebies, which I signed up for.
Swag bag.
So there's a bag that just has the Indie Untangled logos on it. And there's one with logos and swag, and I love swag. I'm such a pushover for swag.
They're the t-shirts or the sweatshirt?
Text today, and I didn't click on the link,
Good
even
job.
though I love swag. So anyway, I bought the swag bag, and then I bought the sampler pack.
Yes. I don't believe the sampler pack is available anymore because I believe that cutoff date has passed. I believe it was today.
I think it was today.
Because it has to get out and get to everyone before Indie Untangled Everywhere, which is the weekend of October
5th?
No, it's later than that.
Next week, 12th?
It's the 16th, 17th, 18th, but I think it's the 16th, 17th, maybe 15th, 16th, 17th, whatever. You can look. The link is down below. I do know that because I put it there last week too. And so that will be there. And the crafting crafternoons or the crafting interviews on Zoom with the different designers is also an addition.
Yes,
is also an additional fee.
They're additional fees. Yes. So I have not signed up for one of those as yet.
We're thinking
about it. I may do.
I wanted
Nancy.
I was gonna.
Ricci?
We can do Nancy Ricci. I was thinking also Max Sincere and his partner Des. I can't remember his last name, so I'm going to look it up right now.
They have amazing. It looks like men's
color works. They have amazing color work. They do men and women. They do all.
I looked them up.
Yeah,
I remember the color work.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
And so I'm going to enter my
boy lollipop.
Yeah, my boy lollipop's going to call it my boyfriend lollipop, but my boy lollipop sweater, which is what we were talking about, a limited amount of color work into the Indie Untangled Make-Along.
It's Vincent Deslandes. I got the names backwards. It happened. So Vincent and Maxim is one of the ones I was interested. Oh, and the reason is because his tag is designed by Dells. That's why.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm really intrigued by them. They have that bear colorwork sweater that I want to make for knee sling. So and then I think Woolen Pine, who did the Sorel sweater and the Sorel top.
All of the designers that are giving talks are linked in the Indie Untangled Make-Along.
And also on the site.
So you can look at their previous designs on Ravelry.
Yes.
And on their websites, I'm sure.
Yes.
I have already changed my Ravelry back to the original, so it doesn't bother me.
Yes. Again, on that note, if you are affected by the Ravelry changes and are unable to get into your account, if you feel comfortable, please reach out to us. Reach out to us on Instagram. I have access to both my personal account and our shared account. So if you reach out to us, I'm more than happy to try and help, by logging it and converting it to what they're calling classic mode. We both had some issues with the new mode, but not with the initial landing page or the pages that you have to click through in order to get onto Classic.
I just found it way too bright.
Yes. Which is something that,
And given a choice, I wanted the more muted tone.
Yes. There have been some further updates about further beta testing, but
we'll let you know.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that Craftsy is going to be back in September. So I'm not sure exactly when in September, but they are going to be back in September.
Good.
And they will have, I understand from what I...
Will it just be their back catalog?
They did say. They said that they would have an app. This is, I'm reading little blips in my email, that they would have an app and they would be back in September. And I'm quite pleased. It looks like they're trying to figure out pricing. At this point, I'm not sure how many more classes I need to take.
No, but you'd like access to the ones you've already...
Yes, and I'm very... And anything I've already bought is mine. And whatever you've bought would be yours. So, we'll have to see what their pricing is, since I've already paid for these things once, under the promise that I would have access to them forever. I downloaded all my patterns.
It's just the step-by-step
It's just the step-by-step. And then, we still have... I might at one point want to make a purse rather than a backpack. The weaving, though I think I'm going to use this warp contraption once I get it, certainly having access to the weaving class that I took and paid for and took would be nice. There's a couple that I paid for and sat through, and they were great. Double knitting with the woman from Canada. Lucy Neepy. I love Lucy, and I've taken 2 classes in person with her, and then I took her online Craftsy class, and she was phenomenal explaining things, so that was lovely.
And did you have an Amy Ditching class on there?
I'm not sure.
But that is good to know, because that was also a big concern for a lot of people.
Yes. So September... as September gets closer, I'll keep you posted on exactly what day. And today is my brother's birthday, so we've already called him and sang happy birthday.
Yes.
And he was floored that my birthday card got there on time. I'm kind of floored too, but
it's
we have
my
a
one
habit.
uncle is always at least
Way
2 weeks early.
We've already gotten our anniversary card, and our anniversary's in September.
My grandmother is a week to a few days early.
Yes.
And then the rest of us trickle in at some point.
2 weeks after.
Yeah, like the kids, we just don't do it. We do texts, we call, we don't do cards. But the aunts and uncles are, you get it within that week or 2 weeks around your birthday.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
So he was amazed that it got there on time, and that only happened because I bought his birthday card early. Way early, and put it away. So he had I have found these things called pop cards on Amazon. And you open them, and there's something that pops up. For my birthday, your father got me one that was a rose bouquet.
Oh, yes, I saw that, yes.
So I got him one that was a birthday cake that popped up. So my brother got a different birthday cake that popped up. So I kind of walked away from the music cards.
Good.
Yes. They bother her ear. To the pop-up ones. And I've ordered one for anniversary for your father.
Oh, good.
Yes. That is somewhat nautical in nature.
Oh, good.
Yes, so I can't wait to see it.
Oh, my God, I'm so excited. On a sad note, John Giswald has passed away. We did not get to attend Knitting in the Pit in Asbury Park in Jersey.
I didn't know about it.
I have told you about it before,
Probably.
but Mom had been working, I had been working, and there hadn't been a Friday yet that, I had thought that this summer would be the summer that I would be able to take a Friday off and we'd go down and experience it, because I've seen the photos I haven't done the Zoom, it via Zoom, but I keep wanting to. But he ran that, and
it was on Friday.
And he was a great light in the community. He was a fitness teacher, and he was big on movement and ergonomics, wall crafting as well. And, keeping yourself fit in order to keep crafting, which was really nice. But he was just, everyone keeps saying he kept on saying he wanted to be the Johnny Carson of the knitting, community. And from what I've seen, and I've seen interviews with him, I've seen him on the She Show, which Shira runs from Lion Brand. He's done some Instagram lives with Gigi and String Thing, with a few, people I follow. And he was just a lovely human from all that I can tell. I never got to meet him personally, but I did want to acknowledge that. And
you said he died today.
That's all I know.
The report came in.
Yes.
Said he died today.
Yeah.
So we know no more about it.
And we just wanted to,
share
thoughts and prayers, and it's tough, and it's hard to hear. But oh, definitely. I do hope that Knitting in the Pit continues in his absence, which will be tough, I have no doubt, for those who are Knitting in the Pit regulars. But he started something so wonderful down there that I think it's just an honor to him. But I did want to point that out in case anyone who does watch us also was a part of that community and did know him, and I wanted to acknowledge your loss and your grief in this time. Because in this time, it's very hard to go through, I think, grief, since we're all separate.
Well, as someone was saying today, where was I? I was listening to something about grief and the church. Mm. Oh, it was in the guest sermon today.
Oh, I've had a migraine for now over a day.
And she was talking about how grief was more difficult because we had no way of getting family and friends together to help share the grief and to talk about the person. And there's no party afterwards to help try to lift you up. So yes, it was in today's sermon. So one should acknowledge that it can be more difficult when you're either by yourself or with a limited number of people.
Or not with your community that you expect to be.
And you may find that little things set you off.
My cousin posted a photo from her wedding from 4 years ago, and my grandfather was in it, and I cried for 2 hours. That was fun. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Just
set you off.
He was in the background of the photo.
Got it.
And I was just, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening? But maybe we will never know.
I watched the convention last week. I cried over an empty classroom.
Okay. So
I looked at the empty classroom and I just dissolved into tears. And I'm not teaching this year.
No.
But I've had a lifetime of teaching.
Yeah.
35 years at Manhattan College and a few more.
No. 31 years at Manhattan College.
And several others at Hofstra.
So
35 altogether. Sorry, I was adding years to my life.
You were adding years to my life.
And the empty classroom just struck me. So I do plan to watch the convention this week. I'm finding them very edifying. So I hope they don't show too many empty classrooms because I will be dissolved in a pool of tears. And the bad thing about that is that these conventions go till late at night. I mean 11:30, and that means my head is stuffed full of water, which then gives me a headache. So I don't relish the crying that late at night because it doesn't have enough time to drain.
Yeah.
But I'm finding it very well. Found the first one educational. I'm sure I'll find the second one educational. So
we will see.
We'll see. Anything else, my dear?
I think that's it. I think it's time to weave in our ends.
Let's weave in those ends.
And we will talk to you again next week. Bye y'all.